Just across the river from downtown Boston lies a 1.09-mile oval in Cambridge, Massachusetts, the site of the 10th DeWalt Cup Series race of the 2025 season. Unpredictability has struck at every turn so far this season, and the tricky Boston International Speedway will be no exception to the chaos we've seen so far this season. It will be a grueling 74 laps in the Procore 400, and we'll see who will take home the hardware from Boston next on JRTV. Welcome everyone to the 10th race of the DeWalt Cup Series 2025 season. I'm Joe Rakowski, Trey Bartle alongside me in the booth, and Trey, what a race we have in store here, and I hope everyone also had a good Easter. Hope everyone enjoyed the Sunday. Now we're here the day after on Monday and ready to do action at a fictional track, Trey. Boston, it's a unique track. It's not something you really see other leagues run, but we're running it here in the DeWalt Cup Series. It'll be a unique experience for the drivers in this race.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting to watch from our standpoint, Joe, because as much as they know going into it, we know going into it. So it'll be an interesting thing to witness it all happen. But you know what? I trust everyone in this field.
Yeah, I hope that all 42 guys can make some laps and at least get some experience here at Boston, because if they decide to bring it back for next season on the schedule, everyone's going to want experience to know how this thing races and how it reacts throughout the full 74-lap race. But speaking of reacting, let's talk about last week's race at the Kansas Speedway, Trey, where we saw some chaos. We saw our points leader blow up under the caution flag. We saw a race leader blow a tire while leading the race. But we also saw some teammate drama, Trey. Bryce Egan and Matt Tuck, this is not the first time a Vision Motorsports car has been involved with an incident with another Vision Motorsports car this season. In fact, it's not the first time Bryce Egan and Matt Tuck were involved in something. Think back to Texas leaving pit road. Bryce Egan spun Matt Tuck under the caution flag, damaged both those cars, hindered their performance for the rest of the race. Well, now here at Kansas, Bryce Egan tries to clear himself off Philip Torres. He wasn't clear. He gets hooked down into his teammate Matt Tuck, ending both of their days. And reports were in the garage, Matt Tuck was going at Bryce Egan and basically saying, you know, you're ruining this team, you're ruining my season, and if you're going to stay with this team, I'm not going to want to stay next season. Trey, those are, what are you doing? You're a team owner. What are you doing if you're Matthew Hubert right now?
I don't know, because on one hand you have Bryce Egan, who has multiple wins on the season and is showing up, and Matt Tuck, who could have multiple wins on the season, but it's kind of hard to do that when you're getting wrecked by the guy who has multiple wins on the season, and now they're going at each other's necks, and one's threatening to leave the team while the other one's essentially threatening to almost kick him off the team, and it's a PR nightmare is essentially what you got going on here, Joe.
Yeah, Bryce Egan, 2 wins this season. He's 7th in points. The problem is those 2 wins are his only top 5s, so it's kind of been win or bust for Bryce Egan at points this season. But he is up there in a chase spot and has a really good shot to get the wild card, even if he falls outside the top 10. Meanwhile, Max Davis is kind of all by himself on the team right now, just kind of staying away from the drama. He sits in the top 5 in points. Matt Tuck hasn't led a lap this season. That is an insane stat to say 9 races in. Matt Tuck has not led a single lap this season, and he's currently stuck down 25th in points, hasn't been able to be near a chase spot this season. So Vision Motorsports, they're currently up there in the team points, 2nd in team points, and they're a team that everyone expects to be competing for wins week in and week out, even competing for a championship, all 3 cars. But is this a bump in the road, or is this something that could easily carry on down the road between Egan and Matt Tuck? And oh, by the way, they only start a few positions apart here today.
You would definitely hope it's just, I don't even know if you can say beginning of the season's, Trevor's, but you would definitely hope it's just a bump in the road for these guys, and they're going to sort it all out and get on the same page. But if it isn't, Joe, they still got a long season ahead of them to try to either figure it out or settle it out. I don't know how you want to go about that.
Yeah, either figure it out or get over it is, I think, what Matthew Hubert's going to be saying if this decides to continue on any further. Let's switch gears to something a little bit more impressive, right? Something a little bit more cheery for maybe one of the drivers in the field. And that's our points leader, Jerry Chen. He starts 13th today, one of his best qualifying results of the season. But, Trey, how often do you see the points leader of the season have an average starting position as bad as 28.67? That is Jerry Chen's average starting position. That is tied for the 4th worst in the series. Only 3 other drivers have a worse, and 1 driver has the same. The driver with the same is Joe Hendry. Where is he in points? He's 33rd. Chris Keselowski, Angel Gutierrez, Tim Gary are all worse with an average starting position, and they are stuck down 38th, 40th, 41st in points. So Jerry Chen is doing something basically unthinkable right now. He has such a bad average starting spot, Trey, but he finds a way to the front, and he's the points leader, even though his average starting position is 28.67. On average, he makes up 17 spots a race.
Yeah, that's on one hand, you're like, this guy's having an incredible season in terms of being able to say you have a fast car, you can make your way through the field. But on the other hand, you got to think he's like upset with his qualifying performances and what the team's giving him to qualify with. Because if he were to start up near the front more often, Joe, how many wins do you think this guy would have with the car?
Yeah, I mean, he's been so impressive at every track type. You have to think that, a place like a short track or even some of the intermediates, right? Vegas, he finished runner-up. If he started a little bit further up, maybe he gets that track position and is able to hold it. So he could easily be the one with multiple wins this season instead of Bryce Egan. But that's just how it's fallen for Jerry Chen. He has a good starting spot here, 13th here today, and it's a speedway where he's been very, very strong this season. So Jerry Chen, look for him to be up front in leading laps and maybe even winning here today in the Procore 400. Quickly take a look at our top 5 starters and how their seasons have been so far. And a surprise pole appearance for Eli Brighton, the number 88 for Me Motorsports. Trey, you've brought a good car for Eli. He's currently 15th in points and looking to extend on that, get up closer to the top 10 with his pole position start. Could be a good day for him if he can keep that track position. Laura Chung has been so impressive so far this season. Currently sits 4th in points and not all that far off of the points lead. Currently stuck only 11 points off of Jerry Chen, and Chung has, as mentioned, been impressive everywhere we go. Good starting spot here today. Laura Chung could be a threat for the win and to lead a lot of laps. Jack Haas currently sits 3rd on the grid and looking to keep that track position. He started out well last week and kind of faded off late, but then got some positions back after his pit road mishap, and Jack Haas looking to keep that track position here today. Mathis Wells, kind of a slow start to his season, been a little bit of a struggle for Mathis in Atlanta Motorsports as a whole. Mathis currently down 30th in the points standings, but a 4th place starting spot could be big for his season. And Jude Martinelli, rounding out the top 5 starters, got unfortunately involved in the lap traffic incident last race out at Kansas and dropped him, or excuse me, he actually gained points, but he could have gained a lot more. He's currently up to 24th in the point standings, had fallen all the way down to 28th before Kansas. So Martinelli had started out the season well. He's been on a slump as of late. Now he's trying to rebound, and another good starting spot for Martinelli could get him up even further, maybe up inside the top 20 in points, back to where he's in contention for a chase spot. Well, Trey, our prediction battle this season has been absolutely insane. Our averages are within a position of each other. You've taken back over the lead in averages. You have a 10.9 average for your finishing position this season. Mine, Trey, is about 11.5. So we're separated by not all that much. I get to go first again here today. So as the Gatorade starting grid starts to roll at the left side of the screen, I'm going to take the driver starting in 6th, number 16 of Max Davis. He hasn't won yet this season. I think that time is coming, though. I think it's only a matter of time before Max Davis finds a way to victory lane. Vision Motorsports has been strong basically everywhere we go, and I think Max Davis will use this starting spot, get away from his teammate Drama, and Davis is going to win the Procore 400. So, Trey, who's your pick to win here at Boston?
I'm going to go with a guy we talked about in pre-race, Joe, a guy who we said who has one of the worst starting positions in the series, the 36 Jerry Chen. But for once, Joe, he's actually not starting all that bad. Like you mentioned, he's starting 13th, which I think is one of his highest starting spots. So I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but I think good position, good car. He's going to win this race and continue my winning streak.
All right, we'll have to see. Jerry Chen, can he get up there through these 12 cars in front of him? The pace car is going to make a left turn to pit road. A unique racetrack, lots of banking. It's a Rockingham on steroids. The fuel window just past the midway point and a good amount of tire wear if we go green. Eli Bright on the gas, and we're underway in the 10th race of the DeWalt Cup Series 2025 season. Three wide, close off of 4. Eli Bright gets way to lead the first lap here at Boston. Haas in 2nd, Martinelli in 3rd. Battle for 4th, Alex Sanvitale. Haven't really talked about much of this number 09, but up battling for 4th with Laura Chung. And Keegan Thompson has also not yet led a lap this season. Thompson currently up, going for a top 5. You can see Laura Chung drive it in hard on the top side as Mathis Wells in the wall. We're wrecking!
Already!
Oh, look at Levi Shones!
Oh my goodness. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, he's still going, Joe.
I think he flipped half of the front stretch. And he's
I,
still getting hit.
oh, oh my goodness. Matt Tuck involved again. That's not going to help his case. Oh, Stapleton, for you know what brakes are, right?
Oh, I don't know if he had brakes there. That was crazy. A lot of cars involved, and Jude Martinelli and Eli Bright. I
We
think
have a lead change?
No, Eli got
no.
it.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
What are we doing? We're good?
They got to sort that out.
It's a short speedway, Joe. So, you know, these cars are going around fast with a bunch of damaged cars, so they're going to get figured out here as William Siemens going to take essentially his lap back, and
Eli has to get his spot back. He and Martinelli were side by side at the line. Eli did get back in front, but there's going to be a lot of cars. Look at Matthew Burnett. He's playing
Burnett's coming down
with Gabe
Yeah,
Willard.
That's interesting to see. So we'll have to see how that works out for him. But Joe, we're only 5 laps in. That was a quick 5 laps, and a lot just happened.
Yeah, unfortunately for a lot of people, too much happened there. So Burnett and Willard are going to come in. Some guys that were obviously involved are coming in as well. These guys are trying to sort out their positions. I think someone's trying to get a spot that they need, and see, they're still trying to sort out back here some of the guys that had nearly got caught a lap down. Well, it's Eli Bright with the race lead under the first caution flag from pole position. We'll go check out what happened. A massive crash with Levi Shones taking a wild tumble on the front stretch here at Boston.
Well, I don't even know what you call this. 3 wide, 2 wide. Roberto Crowd Jr. crowds Levi Shones. Levi Shones is going to go back up the track. Matt Tuck gets involved. This isn't the worst part because Levi Shones meets Tim Gary, hits him in the door. And, Joe, this went on for I don't know how long you said. That's 1 rotation. That's 2 rotations. 3, 4, 5, getting faster. 6, 7. He's going to hit the wall. 8. Hernandez has nowhere to go. 9, 10. I think we're at 11 now. We're going to make it 12. And, Joe, this is way too many times here. And eventually the car's going to stop. He hits Clayton Strickland down there. As other guys are going to try to avoid it. Watch out for the 8. He runs into Levi Shones now. And, Joe, that was a lot.
And behind all this,
don't forget Matt Tuck. He's going to hit him again. What is going on?
Behind all this, there were more cars involved, like Joshua Cox, Matt Tuck, and Jordan Stout. Nathan Stapleton was sideways. Tyler Belladonna, and Stapleton then comes in. I think so. What happened? Stapleton and Noah Brady were near each other in this crash. Stapleton tried to move up. Brady was up there. I don't know if Staple was mad that. I don't know, but they hit in the crash. That was how Stapleton spun. Was he came up into Noah Brady and then he hits him afterwards.
Right. I mean, I don't know. That was a lot. There's driver tempers. There's drivers that are going to be dizzy. There's drivers that are going to be questioning what just happened. And wow, Joe, we're only 5 laps into this thing. Remind you.
Yep. A lot has already happened in 5 laps here at Boston. We'll take a look one more time at this crash in full speed. And another view as Shones and Crown Jr., Gabe Willard all come together off of the corner. And chaos ensues. See at the back there, Stapleton and Noah Brady getting collected with Jacob Miller and all the rest of the field back there. Hernandez and Levi Shones getting collected. Shones, a driver in a wildcard spot with a win, had been moving up inside the top 15 in points. This is not going to help his case trying to keep points positions in terms of that wildcard spot. Remember, you have to be top 25 in points to use a win for a wildcard. Well, a whole mess trying to sort out, coming back around to the pace car and back around to the caution flag, whatnot. Eli Bright is the leader of this race from pole position. He's led every lap so far of the Procore 400. He leads back to the green flag here at Boston. Back here at Boston, ready to take the green flag for our first restart of the day. We have a few cars to the garage and done, including Levi Shones, who obviously was upside down about 10, 12 times. Johnny Cox in the 8 and Jordan Stout in the 66. Jacob Miller's fallen a lap down with a lot of damage, and then a lot of damaged cars like Matt Tuck and Tim Gary, Joshua Cox, Crown Jr., Noah Brady on up. We did have a few clean cars come down pit road like Matthew Burnett and Gabe Willard. They're back 26th and 28th, so we'll have to see how they do. There are some damaged cars in front of them for the restart. So it's Eli Bright, Jude Martinelli, Jack Haas, Alex Inventari, Laura Chung are the top 5. Egan Thompson along with Rodriguez, Chen, and Davis the front 10 as we're back green in the Procore 400. Decent jump for everyone behind Eli Bright, and Eli Trey so far this week has been a little bit better with the restarts than he was at Kansas, but Martinelli timed it. Here he comes to the inside the back straightaway.
Yeah, I had to have a talk with Eli about his restarts there, and I told him if you don't get up on it, you're going to regret it. And wow, he just completely missed 3 and 4 there, Joe. Do you see how high he was?
They got a little bit of a run down the straightaway. Nearly is clear of Haas into turn 1, but not quite fully clear. So he'll stay side by side, but once again gets a nice run through that second lane. But Haas does a great job committing to the bottom of the corner on exit. So Martinelli now leads for Fos Autosport. Here comes Jack Haas for Galway Automotive up to second, and Laura Chung always at the front for Otter Island Motorsports. Coming up for third on the pole sitter, Eli Bright starting to drop back at this stage in the race. Once again, Keegan Thompson looking for his first lap lead of the season. Thompson moving up on the inside with points leader Jerry Chen just behind him with Bryce Egan to his outside. Welcome to the top 10 for Chris Jericho in the 54, started back around 17th place. Jericho's led 40 laps this season, but still down around 30th in the point standings. He's been strong this season. That team's had no luck to finish the races where they run. Maybe today's the day where they get that finish, that first top 10 of the season, even though he has 40 laps led.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see how all this settles out now. As looks like Eli had a chance to get down below, but the 09 decided to, said it was my spot, and I'm not going to let Eli Bright have that one.
No, Alex Amatali, he hasn't run at the front all too much so far this season, so he wants to make it worthwhile when he's up here and try and get every spot he can. He's currently going for 6th on the pole sitter of Eli Bright. Rodriguez just behind him, one of those top guys in the point standings, but hasn't won since the Daytona 500 earlier this season. Tucson Racing as a whole hasn't won since the 500 to begin the season, so they've been a strong team, but they've not found that final piece to win at these style of racetracks like the speedways or the short tracks. But right now they have all 3 of their cars running strong, with Rodriguez up inside the top 10, Thompson inside the top 5, and Chris Jericho currently back in 11th, just outside of the top 10. Meanwhile, at the front, still Martinelli leading for Fos Autosport. Jack Haas in second, might be holding up. Laura Chung has a nice run coming off turn 4. We'll see if she uses the wide front stretch to her advantage. She's looking low on Haas. Can she get to the inside of turn 1? She just didn't have enough of a run to make it work, and they stay stuck behind Jack Haas in second place for now.
All right, so now we finally got some laps in underneath us, as Eli Bright looked like he almost tagged the wall coming off turn 2 there. We finally got some, oh my goodness. All right, I'm trying to make a statement here, but these guys aren't making it easy. We finally got some laps in underneath us, Joe. The drivers are finally starting to settle in now. Now we're going to see who has the long run car, who has the car that can make it, endurance-wise in this race, as we see Eli Bright finally getting able to get in a spot in, so he'll be able to get to the bottom. But at a track like this, Joe, how much does tire fall off come into play?
Well, if we go long green, which, I mean, we saw a crash on lap 5, so who knows how long we might go green. But if we do a full run, we could see around 2 seconds of fall off on these tires. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. And honestly, with this caution, they might be able to go a little bit less on the fall off in terms of that. How about this man, though, Lathan Strickland, right? Wasn't he basically involved with Levi Shones, who was flipping? Like, at the end of his flip, wasn't Strickland basically into him? And now here caution's out.
Uh-oh. What are we looking
Turn
at now?
3.
Oh no! Oh no!
A lot of cars. Mathis
That's
Wells.
both my cars again!
Yeah, William Seaman. So the guys who pitted are stuck back here, and they're kind of high-sided. They can't make it from here. The fuel window is 38 to 42 laps. They're short, but the tire wear might coerce them to coming in.
I think it will, Joe. We see the front 3 coming in. Laura Chung's going to actually stay out. So is Bryce Egan and Lathan Strickland, as well as a couple of other guys. So strategy coming into play again.
Remember, Anthony has had some damage, so he came down pit road to repair that under the first caution. Let's see how that plays out for him.
There's a lot of cars involved with this wreck again, Joe.
Yeah, and that was a weird spot, middle of turns 3 and 4. You have to wonder if something happened on the backstretch lead to that. As here comes Martinelli leading everyone down pit road and into his pit zone. We'll have to see what the call is. Is it going to be 2 tires or 4 tires? You have to assume that you would maybe just want to take 4 here, get out of the way.
Right, you're already down and drop the car. Looks like they're going around to pick up the left sides too.
Yep, so Jude Martinelli's going to be taking 4, and it looks like about everyone else is also taking 4 tires as well. Keegan Thompson with a very good pit stop in that number 6. He's going to leave second.
Wow. Very nicely done by his crew. As see it goes by Jack Haas, Jerry Chen. I think that was San Vitali coming off next. Jericho, Rodriguez. And then I don't know if these guys are getting mixed up here. We'll figure it out or what. But alrighty, Joe. Well, strategy coming into play. 2 wrecks now. two big wrecks is what we should say. And what else does this race have in store?
I don't know. We'll have to see. But what it has in store is this pit strategy is going to be interesting. Laura Chung, Bryce Egan, Lathan Strickland, Max Davis, Cam Wright Jr., Joe Hendry, Zachary DeLello, and Anthony Hernandez have stayed out. So the top 8 have stayed out. 9th on back have come in. Let's see how that plays out on the restart. Let's go check out what happened. A crash up the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4 brings out the second caution flag of the Procore 400 here at the Boston International Speedway.
Well, from winning to being a wreck magnet, Gabe Willard is the center of attention so far here today. As you can see, he's middle 3 wide, and I don't even know if he made contact with Charette there, but he came down on Burnett here as he's going to go for a wild ride. As he's going to go through the grass backwards, Joe, holding onto the brakes, but it's not going to be enough. Burnett's going to go back up into the 39 as Willard's going to go back up into William Seaman. So he's just kind of a meme motorsports collector here today. As Joe, hold your breath here because watch this 39. He's going to come back down the track as this guy off the door. And like you mentioned, Joe, as you said behind the scenes here, he's going to go breakdancing and over and over and over again as more cars in the background are going to get collected into that. You could see Roberto Crown Jr., Matt Tuck again as he's going to land on all 4 wheels and get pitched up onto the transition here, Joe. But Tim Gary's all the way in the grass right now too, so I don't know where he's off to. But wow, that is 2 wrecks, Joe, and 2 massive hits we've had in both of them.
Yeah, 2 flips through the first 20 laps here at Boston. So maybe not what the drivers want to see. It's been a chaotic race so far here at the Boston International Speedway. So go take a look at this crash one more time in full speed. And here's one more view off of turn number 2 as Matthew Burnett maybe crowns Gabe Willard there as they all came together 3 wide off the corner. Burnett out of control gets Wells, and Willard gets Seaman, Angel Gutierrez, Noah Brady, look at Belladonna and Robert Ashford, and then Giacomo, Crown Jr., Joshua Cox, and Matt Tuck also get collected further back in the field. Tim Gary with his excursion through the grass. Jacob Miller driving by it all. Seeds Calamity to his inside. Well, some pit strategy comes to play here at Boston. Everyone who came down pit road got 4 tires, while some stayed out. They're going to be on old tires and less fuel. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be Laura Chung to lead here in Boston. We'll see if the strategy can work out for her. She gets maybe a caution to bring everyone back down pit road with her. Coming back to the green flag here at Boston will be completion of lap 20 when we get it. And the list in the garage was a little bit after the first crash. Now we've had a lot more to that list. We had 3. Now we're up to a lot more. Bruno Giacomo is now in the garage. Noah Brady's in the garage. So is William Seaman, Mathis Wells, Matt Tuck, Matthew Burnett, Angel Gutierrez, and Gabe Willard. A lap down for Joshua Cox, Jacob Miller, and Roberto Crown Jr. We mentioned before we went to the there's 28 cars in the lead lap, by the way. We mentioned before we went to the replays, the top 8 cars have stayed out on the racetrack on old tires in a different strategy. That's Laura Chung, Bryce Egan, Lathan Strickland, Max Davis, Cam Wright Jr., Joe Hendry, Zachary DeLello, and Anthony Hernandez. The 35 might be slightly damaged. Then everyone 9th on back took 4 tires on pit road. They'll be gunning to try and get to the front as quick as possible. Bryce Egan with wheel spin, green flag back out for Laura Chung. Lathan Strickland with a move for second already. And here comes Martinelli, Strickland's teammate, going on Anthony Hernandez further back in the field. Remember, Martinelli, highest car on tires.
All right, Joe. So you said it could be roughly about 2 seconds of fall off, give or take, with the caution laps we have. So I'm going to say probably at a guess we're around 1 second, maybe give or take. So how are these tires going to fare?
Anthony Hernandez was with the track back there, but so far, Trey, not faring all that well. Martinelli's already gone by 3 guys. He's up to 6th. There he goes for another one to go to 5th on Joe Hendry. And then teammates are side by side.
Guys slicing through the field.
3 wide.
Uh-oh. Don't do it again, please.
We're good. Got down. Keegan Thompson was the big loser on this restart. He got stuck behind the guys that were on old tires on the outside. Remember, he was the 2nd car on new tires.
Oh, Hernandez.
Yeah, Hernandez is blocking Spro Tube back here. 28 cars.
He almost just got dumped into the wall.
Well, Spro Tube luckily lifted for him. Otherwise, oh my gosh.
Look at this stack up, Joe. I don't like this.
This is what new tires and old tires does right here. You have guys on old tires at the front. Guys on new tires are carving a path.
Uh-oh.
Haas is on new tires. He's going to go 3 wide on Bryce Egan, who was on older tires. Tegan Fox is making it 3 wide to the inside. Where's that 59 come from? Last in the point standings. Here she comes making big moves to try and get inside the top 10, and she'll complete the pass through turns 1 and 2.
Joe, something's brewing, and it's either going to fizzle out and we're going to be good, or it's going to break and it's going to be some catastrophe that goes down. But so far, Joe, I think we are okay.
Seidel nearly got into it with Bryce Egan, who was right behind teammate Max Davis. Up front, here comes Jerry Chen for the lead on Laura Chung.
Well, Joe, we said it. He was finally had a good starting position here, Joe, and we know he has a fast car with being the points leader and all, and we'll have to see if it happens. Wow, Strickland did
Look at
not have a good corner at all. As we're going to come off the corner
the
again.
79-91 are on old tires, and you can just see how badly their cars are compared to the guys on new tires. They're just in the way right now. They can't get out of the way fast enough. These guys are coming up so fast. And, I mean, Tegan Fox is basically top 5 now in that 59 car. That is insane for a team who's down last in points, has not been good at all on these types of racetracks. Here's Tegan Fox's Lord
Chung in the wall.
Is struggling on those old tires. She cannot go forward at all. She's just going back. See, driving in deep into the corner, but does she have the grip to hold it?
That is a good question right there. We'll have to see what all happens here. Hey, Eli Bright's back up front. Chris Jericho following suit.
The pole sitter Eli Bright. Chris Jericho is looking for some sort of luck here this season. Maybe this pit strategy is the good luck that he needs. Currently up inside the top 3 and 3rd as the caution flag is back out. Another crash!
Oh no!
On the front stretch, DeLello and Strickland, Andrew Webb.
Again, Joe, some hard hits. Who's that down below the apron there? Don't know if they were involved.
Robert Ashford.
Well, add it to the hit list, Joe, where we've had wrecks again.
Well, now
all right, slow it down, please.
Here we go. We're going to hit lap 30 at the line. Pit road's going to be open. This is like Kansas. We're on the edge. We're on the outer edge of the fuel window from here if they want to come down pit roads. This is what Laura Chung was maybe hoping. The only problem is that she fell way far back. But these guys probably think they can make it, or at least try to make it. They might go with either 2 tires or fuel only, while the guys who stayed out, they're going to have to go with 4 here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how everything all
not like there's many cars
fizzles out. No, right? I mean, most of them are damaged or not. I mean, you can see the 3 guys on pit road right now, but all right, we'll have to see what Jerry Chen does. Eli Bright, Chris Jericho now hitting his box.
Jericho's
Chen into his.
Tires.
Right side's up on the 36. Do they do left sides, though, is the question.
Jericho's going 4.
Seems like Jerry Chen as well, so might as well just not risk it, Joe, and take all 4 tires.
Brian Rodriguez!
Oh!
He took 2, and Bryce Egan was coming into his pit stall, so Rodriguez takes 2 tires. He's going to get out in the lead. Is going to have right side damage now. 4 tires for Chen and basically everyone else. Eli Bright's going to come out right behind the 36.
That's going to be some major damage on that right front of that 62, Joe.
We'll have to see.
Is he going to come right back down and fix it?
He's kind of looking that way.
Looks like they might be trying to figure out the spotter can see anything based on it. Looks like they're going to be staying out.
All right.
That was a hard hit, though. I wonder how much damage the front end of Bryce Egan has.
Yeah, that was just bad timing, unfortunately. Oh, Eli Bright got off in second.
Wow, look at that. That's the good thing about having the first pit stall, Joe, is that you can essentially just hammer it out and it goes to your advantage.
Yeah, so how about that for Eli Bright? Using that #1 pit stall, the pit crew did their job on pit road, and they're going to be up in contention. Robert Ashford's going to have a stop sign that he has to obey here to let all the lead lap cars go by, and then he'll line up where he's supposed to. Well, caution flag out again, and Bryce Egan is still on pit road looking at the damage, so they obviously have a lot there. Hopefully he can stay on the lead lap and salvage what he can, as Rodriguez on 2 tires is going to have some damage on the right side. We'll check out what happened, though. Caution flag out for the 3rd time in 30 laps here in the Procore 400 at Boston.
Well, we're going to start out by saying, look at the gap Keegan Thompson tries to make up here in the middle or exit of turn 4, and eventually that's going to become a little bit of a pinch area as Keegan Thompson, Laura Chung, Lathan Strickland, Drew Webb all come together. Chung hard hit into the outside wall, followed up by Lathan Strickland. Max Davis gets a big hit as well. And Joe, from here on out, I mean, watch DeLello coming through. He thinks there's going to be a gap, closes up, and oh my goodness, look at the air he got underneath that as well. But thank goodness for Lathan Strickland holding on to the brakes, because that was going to be another 5 cars involved in this wreck if he did not.
He did a great job there keeping everyone else out of it. Unfortunately for Strickland, the strategy for a lot of these guys, this was a lot of guys that stayed out on old tires. Laura Chung, Lathan Strickland, Zach DeLello, they were trying to make that work, and it really kind of bit them there. They were in the way. There was a whole shuffle. That shuffle kind of created this. So a tough break there for these guys who were trying some strategy, just didn't go their way. one more view off of turn number 4. Thompson into Chung. Remember, Thompson had the fresh tire, so he had a little bit more grip, but maybe just a little bit too aggressive. But again,
my goodness.
That 6 was a driver who kind of got caught up on the restart, was trying to make up ground, and just unfortunately forced it a little bit too hard there and collected some guys. So Jerry Chen led them back around to the caution flag. Eli Bright with the number 1 pit stall gets off of the first guy with 4 tires, but this man took 2. Brian Rodriguez giving me the race leader on 2 tires, put some right side damage. We'll see how the 62 goes for our 3rd restart of the day here at Boston. Well, we'll try this again. Coming back to the green flag here at Boston for the 3rd time today. A few more added to the collection in the garage, including Lathan Strickland and Zachary DeLello. Bryce Egan has fallen a lap down. In fact, now they're finally changing tires, so he might fall a 2nd lap down if they don't hurry up. But Ashford's now 2 down. Stapleton's a lap down. So is Cox. Joshua Cox, that is. So is Crown Jr. and Jacob Miller. 23 cars on the lead lap. A few of them are damaged. And you have Brian Rodriguez, a little bit of damage, and on 2 tires. Then Eli Bright is on 4 tires, along with Jerry Chen, Chris Jericho, and Philip Torres. That's the front 5 as the green flag is back in the air. Rodriguez on 2 does get a decent jump ahead of the rest of the field. And Chris Jericho looking on Jerry Chen, not close enough to make the move as Tegan Fox. And here goes Eli Bright for the lead on Rodriguez. The 2 tires not holding up for a lap.
You also got to think about how that damage is really affecting that 62. We'll have to see on the long run because essentially, Joe, it was a T-bone. I mean, right on pit road, but oh my goodness. But yeah, so we'll have to see as he's quickly falling back. But Eli Bright to the lead, but Chris Jericho immediately challenging, and he got underneath him.
Is this the day for Chris Jericho where his finishing position matches how he ran throughout the race? Here he goes for the lead and get by Eli Bright into turns 3 and 4. But here comes the points leader, Jerry Chen. He's been so strong here today, and he's looking back for the lead as behind them something happened. Did Rodriguez come down? Rodriguez may have pitted. Yep.
Yeah, he did.
That
so did Drew Webb, I believe that was.
They must add a tire rub that only showed up under loading through the corners at full speed.
Right, so they're going to go down and fix that, but that essentially gave us, Joe, a 6-car breakaway as it is now Jerry Chen, Philip Torres, Chris Jericho, Ludovic Charette, Jack Haas, and Eli Bright are the top 6 with, I believe that is Sam Vitale, who is trying to close up the gap.
And Riley Spiritu, Justin Zidell having good days. Keegan Thompson is trying to come back with Jude Martinelli. They come close together off turn 2. Look at the damage on Thompson's left side, but that thing is still running pretty strong. He's lucky he doesn't have tire rubs.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that. But, I mean, if you think about it, I guess he only did get sandwiched between 2 cars, so didn't really take that big of a hit after all, and we'll have to see if it can hold up. But, Joe, we have a couple of people who we haven't really mentioned so far this race with Philip Torres and Ludovic Charette. The only time we mentioned Ludovic Charette was when she was involved with that 2nd incident.
Yeah, and here she is up to 3rd place, but this is the driver who I think a lot of people are waiting to break out. She has not had a good season up to this point for her standards, and looking for that first victory and looking for really her first breakout run of the season. Here she is in 3rd place. Can she get to the front 2 is the big question, currently held by Jerry Chen and Philip Torres. Something also to note that we mentioned at Kansas, this is right on the fuel window when they pitted. So if this thing stays green, we didn't think it would stay green at Kansas, but it did. So if this race stays green, which could happen, you know, we have less cars out there and the field's really been spread out because of the pit stops. If it stays green, can they make it all the way? Can they save and can they go the distance they need, about 45, 44 laps on a tank of fuel?
All right, so now we have less cars, Joe. We should be good to go to the end, right?
I hope so, Trey. I really hope so. If we get some green flag running in to see who has the best long-run car, that would be a fun sight to see. But now, after those pit stops, we have 21 cars on the lead lap. Brian Rodriguez has fallen a lap down in 28th. Egan stayed 1 lap down, and Drew Webb's now fallen a lap down as well. So 21 cars lead lap. Some of them are damaged at the back, and they're just getting some pretty decent days, days that maybe they didn't think would be all that good. Like Tim Gary, who's involved in that first crash. He was the one that sent Levi Jones flying. Has a ton of damage on that 69. He's currently back in 21st on the lead lap. Other drivers like Belladonna involved in crashes, and then you have some drivers like Max Davis, who was just involved in that last crash, got some pretty heavy damage. He's still out there trucking along right behind Brian Wilson. Laura Chung is struggling, though. I think that hit to the wall after she kind of came down then back up. I think that second hit to the wall really hurt her 79 car, and it doesn't have the same pace as it had in that first run of the race.
Yeah, I mean, she pancaked that with the driver's side. You can see the amount of damage right now. It looks like she was trying to make a pass, but that car just does not have the straight line speed right now to really commit to it. And I think at this point, with the way it's going, you just kind of ride around and hope either something else happens or some cars fall out of it with the damage that they have, and you just take whatever you can get, as we got a battle going on for second place.
Well, with how today's been, could be a good points day for points leader Jerry Chen. Right, he's up here leading. He's leading a bunch of laps. All those other guys like Stapleton is a lap down. Laura Chung's damage towards the back. Max Davis is damage towards the back of the lead lap. And Jerry Chen's up here ahead of all the madness. And started well today, luckily for him, because otherwise he could have been involved in something big. But Brian Rodriguez had to pit as well. He came in third in points, so everyone right behind Jerry Chen in points having struggling days. But Jerry Chen right now leading, coming to 30 to go. But this 54 Trey might be fast car right now, because here he is closing in on Jerry Chen from 0.3 of a second down to about a tenth and a half. Chris Jericho's right there on Jerry Chen, looking for a pass at some point in the next few laps.
Yeah, definitely. But, the interesting thing is, Joe, we have yet to see really what these cars are like on a long run. So is it a fact of Jerry Chen saving it, Chris Jericho pushing it? We got lap cars coming up, which could play a factor, as well as, we really do need to see what this race is like after what's the most laps we've had so far? 15, 20 laps?
I don't think it was even that far. I think it was maybe 10 laps that we maybe
Am I giving it too much credit?
Yeah, you're giving it a little too much credit at this point in the race. But we might break the record of most consecutive green flag laps in this race, just a little bit. We'll have to see. But at the moment, Jerry Chen is holding that gap nice and consistent, currently at the front of the field. Jericho falling off a little bit back to Philip Torres. Those front three have really left everyone else. Ludovic Charette falling back to Jack Haas and Eli Bright. Rise Bright has been a world of his own in 7th. Then Alex Amatali holding up Zaydel, that's 8th, 9th, and Martinelli now up to 10th, with Keegan Thompson 11th. Once again, Tegan Fox can't say enough about the day they've had, that 59, currently down at the bottom of the points pile. She's in 12th. Ryan Wilson also has not had that great of a season, in 13th. Max Davis trying to get whatever he can. Remember, he comes in top 5 in points, wants to keep that. Also wants to keep that because the All-Star race is coming up, and if he can't get a win.
Oh no, here we go. Oh no, bad timing to make a pass.
I think that is for position. They're both a lap down, so that's for 27th. But it's just
right. So they have all the right to race. It's just
a bad
timing.
Bad
is what
time.
It was.
Should have let them go by and then started to race. But this allows the front three to accordion together. And if this keeps happening, here comes Charette, Haas, and Bright. But they do get by those two. Ashford's 2 down. Look at Jericho pushing Chen to the inside of Ashford.
Well, the best way to get past a lap car if you're first and second is to work together, and that's exactly what they did. Well, this is going to allow, the 5th and 6th to catch up to 4th of Charette, as, again, same situation, Joe. This 95 has all the right to pass. It's just terrible timing when it happens.
Yeah, he's not been the best timer with his passes, and Charette may be a little bit angry with what just happened right there. Look at Ashford. Send it in on the top side. This has allowed Riley Bridger to catch up to make it a 4-car race for 4th, so good for Riley. He can try and get some spots, and that car looks pretty stout. But at the front, Chen still leads. Jericho looking for some clean air from behind the 36 car, trying to use a little bit higher lane. But the point I was bringing up before we caught lap traffic is the All-Star race is coming up soon. We have New Hampshire next race, and then Vermont, and then the All-Star race. If you don't win a race before the All-Star race, if you're top 5 in points even without a victory, you're in. Well, right now Max Davis is, and he's trying to truck along there in 14th, trying to get whatever points he can to keep that top 5 spot in case he has to fall back on that to get into the All-Star race, because even though it's the All-Star race, non-points race, you can lock up a chase spot if you win that one. So it's a big race for some drivers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, any way in is the way in, right, Joe? So we'll have to see what all comes out of that and who can go and give themselves a shot at locking themselves into one of those spots. But right now, Joe, it's still the tale of the front two. Kind of what I can say now is pacing themselves as they all got together, and then now they're all spread out. But we're coming up to more lap traffic right now as this battle for 4th is getting heavier and heavier, as it's still a 4-car race. But Ludovic Charette lost 1 spot to Jack Haas and could be losing another one to Spurley Tube here.
I was going to say, Urias Bridge also passed Eli Bright for 6th place. And Spurley looks like he has a pretty fast car. They're right on the bumper of Ludovic Charette for that top 5 spot. So Riley just missed out on the top 5 last race at Kansas. Maybe you can try and get one here. Well, Eli Bright's thinking otherwise. The poll sitter is saying, I want that top 5 spot. He might get a 2-for-1 deal in turn 22. What a quarter.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, but I think you'll take it, right? Your lone car.
Oh, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. I'm just, Wasn't expecting to see that.
Yeah, that was a great corner for Eli Bright.
He was told the camera was on him. That's what it was, Joe.
Oh, here we go. So Tim Gary got in the way of Jerry Chen. Chris Jericho caught up. Couldn't get by, though, but now he's closer than he has been. Tim Gary out of the way for Jericho. Now might try and stay high for Philip Torres. That leaves us now 20 cars on the lead lap. We're about to lap 2 more, though, because Chris Keselowski is just in front of Drew Webb, and so is Tyler Belladonna. So we might drop 2 more off the lead lap. And the front 2 still have to negotiate this heavy lap traffic. 17 laps to go at the line for Jerry Chen and Chris Jericho, who have gotten a nice gap from Philip Torres, about 1.25 seconds back. Oh, Jericho, can he use them as a pick? Chen fights him off for now.
Chen, I think he saw that coming and decided to force himself down there, even if it wasn't the corner entry he was looking for, Joe, and going to work off well because he's going to be able to pass Drew Webb here. As he's now going to try to get past the 20 and the 07, which is not going to make it easy.
Oh my gosh, this is. What do you think they're thinking as lead lap cars here? You know, they're coming up, and it's like a maze you have to try and get through, rolling roadblocks at points.
I think Drew Webb just hit the wall, but he's definitely thinking, get out of the way. We're racing for the lead right now, but at the same time, there is no rule that says you have to get out of the way, Joe.
Nope, that is very true. That blue flag.
As we're looking 3 wide.
As lap cars, they're looking 3 wide. That's insane.
Yeah. Now, if you're Philip Torres and you see this, you're saying, please don't do this in front of me. I'm having a good day.
Yeah, Philip Torres is saying, listen, just keep it clean in front of me. I'll take 3rd place all day because that would move him inside the top 10 in points, I do believe. So Philip Torres having a really good day for Otter Island Motorsports. He hasn't been the car this season from that stable to be the highest runner, but today he is the highest runner out of Benny Watson's team, so he'll definitely take that. But it's still Jerry Chen leading this race, 14 laps to go this time by. That fuel question still looms large for the front few drivers who have been pushing hard, trying to get through this lap traffic and trying to get away from everyone else. See the big distance that they pulled back to this battle for 4th, which is still Jack Haas, Eli Bright, Raspberry. They've dropped Ludovic Charette, who might just fancy hanging on in 7th place, about 1 second back of that battle, 1 second in front of the other battle, just hanging on there all by herself, trying to get home in a clean manner.
Yeah, we mentioned it, Joe. This is 100% the longest green flag runner we've had, and now we're starting to see whose car has those long run paces, who doesn't, and I think Ludovic Charette is just one of those where her car does not have the speed that she was hoping for on these long green flag runs, but like you mentioned, as long as she can hold on, Joe, it's still a pretty good finishing spot.
It is, yeah. She had a pretty good day at Kansas, moved her back up towards, not really towards the front points, but back up inside the top 20. This could be another good day to move her up further inside the top 20. Good battle for 7th here, or excuse me, for 8th. It's Sam Vitale, Martinelli, and Keegan Thompson, as Eli Bright's gotten by Jack Haas for 4th. So move Eli 1 spot closer to the front. The pole sitter has a pretty good long run car, it looks like, Trey. Even though it was set up for 1 lap, obviously in qualifying, still some good long run pace too.
Yeah, definitely, and this is a day that he 100% needed to kind of get his motivation back up and some good thoughts back into that race team as they're doing it right now. But still, 11 laps left, 10 laps left, and a lot can happen in that time, so we'll have to see what happens. As looks like she heard what my comments were, Joe, because it seems like she is making ground back up again.
She's kind of closing back in on Riley and Haas and Eli Bright. But Eli's a driver, and this a crew that is, as of late, been pretty decent. They've been moving back up in points and nearing the top 10, and if they could finish this out inside the top 5, this would be a big day for them. Well, 10 laps to go for the points there. Jerry Chen looking for his 2nd victory on the season. His first came at Texas back in race number 4, and looking to try and get a 2nd win on a speedway here in the DeWalt Cup Series season. Chris Jericho just hunting him down in 2nd place, looking for that first top 10 of the season. How crazy would it be if that first top 10 were a race victory? Well, he has 9 laps to try and figure out how to catch Jerry Chen and then get by him. They've elapsed 3 seconds to Philip Torres right there. Torres right now just kind of all by himself. Eli Bright starting to pull away in 4th from Jack Haas and Ryan Spurgeon. That might be a fight 4th, 5th, and then 6th. And see, Eli, though, does have a nice gap. Haas and Spurgeon might be fighting for that 5th spot with Ludovic Charette back there in 6th, or excuse me, in 7th. Alex Vitale is in 8th. Martinelli 9th. Keegan Thompson 10th. Justin Zidell 11th. Have to go all the way back here. This is a big battle for 12th. 2 guys that were just involved in that last crash. Laura Chung and Max Davis. Chung's made up some spots. Davis has also made up a spot or 2. But he might start to lose them because here comes Tegan Fox and Ryan Wilson. And if Cam Wright Jr. just head steadily there with Joe Hendry. And then Anthony Hernandez, last car on the lead lap in 18th place. And it cycles back around to race leader Jerry Chen, who's starting to gap over Chris Jericho with 7 laps to go.
Well, Joe, been a race so far. We still got time left in it, but we mentioned it. We didn't know what was going into this. I said I trusted these drivers, and that was a bad thing to say, wasn't it?
Might have been a mistake.
Might have been a small mistake. I don't think I'll say that again.
No, but I tell you what, Jerry Chen's car in this long run has been absolutely superb. He's pulling away now by tenths a lap as a Cameron Jr. had to pit. Is that fuel concerns for some of those guys?
It looks like it might be, given that he wasn't the only one down there, Joe. So when we thought it was going to be a nice, easy way home, Joe, we now have new concerns into this thing.
Yeah, so we'll have to see, can these front runners make it? Does everyone have to pit? If one guy has to pit at the front, do the rest have to? Jerry Chen, so far so good for him, and Jericho. So the front two are staying out at the moment. So is Torres. Eli Brent, the 88, will also stay out. Schwertub's gotten by Jack Haas. He's fallen back into the clutches of Ludovic Charette. So far, it's just Cameron Jr. and Tegan Fox that came in. No one else has so far. Just those two.
Yeah, but we've seen it before where it goes into the last 2 to 1 lap, right? And that's when the issues really arise. But honestly, if you're Jerry Chen, you just kind of pedal this thing around here, and you'll be good.
He has a pretty nice gap to Jericho. It's over a second now with 3 laps to go. So he can maybe start to save some fuel. I mean, these tires have worn out so much they are crawling through the corners. They're down to like the 140s, 130s in mid-corner. That's just how slow they have to go with how much little grip Jerry Chen through. Oh, he's pitting! Jerry Chen is pitting for the lead! Can Chris Jericho make it?
No!
Can Jericho make it? 2 laps to go.
I have no words for what we just witnessed, Joe.
The race leader and points leader out of fuel with 2 to go. Now Chris Jericho looking for his luck here in the 2025 season, but will he have the luck? Can he make it another lap? He looks like he's slowing to pit.
I think
he's out of
Joe,
fuel.
He's out, Joe. He's out. Where's Torres?
Phil Torres is out.
Where's Bright?
Eli Bright is going to try and stay out and get the lead.
You just need one more lap, Eli. Just one more lap. Coast. Clutch in, Eli. You just got to clutch in.
He takes the white flag, 2 seconds in hand over Riley Spurley to Jack Haas in third. Ludovic Charette and Jude Martinelli round out the top 5. Up the back straightaway for the final time. Mean Motorsports has not yet won this season. Into turns 3 and 4. He has the fuel. Goodness. Eli Bright from pole. Not the most direct way to win, but he'll do it at Boston.
Did Jerry Chen get second still?
No, he was a lap down.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what a comeback. A Spurley Tube second then.
Well, Trey.
What? I have no words. I was happy with the 4th place.
look at Jericho's still racing back to try and get a finishing position, but I think wanting to congratulate Eli on his way there.
What just happened?
Well, you know that big gap those front 3 pulled, Trey? Maybe there was a reason they pulled that big gap.
Wow. Alrighty then. Hey, Joe, I just want to say that everything that Mean Motorsports has been in has been victorious. Just going to throw that out there.
Also, didn't you say under behind-the-scenes break, you said, I put a point into strategy this week?
I did say that. I did. It clearly, and it has...
You thought they screwed up with Matthew Burnett's strategy, but obviously the strategist on the 88, they knew what they were doing because Eli Bright wins the Procore 400 on fumes here at Boston. That's just that.
I am at a loss for words.
I don't know
was
the
not
last
expecting
time
that.
we saw a fuel mileage finish like that, where we saw the leaders actually run out. We've seen a few guys run out here and there, but I don't know if we've ever had it where all these leaders just were running dry.
The last one I can think of was maybe a Simulation Cup Series race at Richmond, I want to say, for some reason, and I think it was Chris Jericho coming out on top.
Oh,
but I could be wrong.
It might have been Phoenix.
That's what it was. I think it was a short track of some sort. I thought Chris Jericho came out on top of it, but wow. Just wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of speechless after that one. I mean, that's just what a crazy ending, right? We had talked about at the beginning of the run, fuel mileage could come into play if it stays green, but the pace had fallen off so much, I was like, well, maybe it won't come into play. They're going so through these corners, but I think those front 3, they just pushed it too hard trying to get a gap over Eli Brighton. I mean, you remember Eli Trey, he had fallen back to the back of that pack. He was like 7th, or he was 4th in that pack, 7th overall, and it was kind of oh, he he doesn't really have the car. He had the car at the early stage, and then I said, oh, he has a good long run car. Maybe that was him saving, and then he was like, all right, we're good. We can start to push a little bit harder.
That must have been it because I can't think of anything else. And I mean, you think about it, right? Jerry Chen and Chris Jericho were really fighting each other there to get around those lap traffic, and you got to think that they were pushing themselves to get past those big goops, yep, groups. And the other guys, it was what, four of them, five of them that fell off, just kind of racing themselves, and that must have been where some of them must have decided, let's just save, and those ones were the 88, 28, 23, and 02, and they
Yeah.
were able to make it to the end.
Yeah, all those guys in the back half of the top 10, they made it, and they got spots, and there were some guys that were outside the top 10 were able to make it, like Ryan Wilson and Anthony Hernandez. They get top 10s out of the day, and we'll go check out those finishing results, and from a wacky ending here at Boston, the Procore 400, we'll go check out those finishing results. So here's the top 10 finishers from a crazy ending here at Boston, the Procore 400. These are the 10 drivers that made it on fuel. Eli Bright up by 2 seconds over Riley Spurley-Tube. Jack Haas, Ludovic Charette, Keegan Thompson, Jude Martinelli, Justin Seidel, Alex Sanvitali, Ryan Wilson, Anthony Ness with his damaged car gets a top 10. So what a day for those drivers to make it on field. Great points day for all of them. Chris Jericho, even though he was out of fuel, finished on the lead lap, finishes 11th. So one spot for that first top 10 of the season, but he moves up 4 spots in points and is now closer to the top 20 and trying to get that win to try and be a part of a wildcard spot. Philip Torres was the first car lap down. Once again, he ran dry on fuel. He ends up 12th. Jerry Chen kind of has a slow pit stop with his, getting refueled. He maybe ran out sooner than the others. He ends out in 13th. Joe Hendry, because some of these lap down cars also made it on fuel, so they get some spots like Hendry, Keselowski, Brian Rodriguez. Remember, he had to pit right after the restart. Kind of helped him get some spots. Bryce Egan, Laura Chung, Max Davis, Tegan Fox are the top 20. And a lot of these guys down here were damaged, and just a whole bunch of mess going on with the big accidents that we had. You had Cam Wright Jr. down here, Drew Webb, Nathan Stapleton, just kind of a bad day, getting involved in that first crash, never recovered. Tim Gary putt around to try and get 25th there at the end. All the way down 29th, Robert Ashford was the last car to finish in 29th. Zachary DeLello 30th out of the race. Lathan Strickland, Gabe Willard, some big names that DNF'd. Matthew Burnett now outside the top 10 in points. Matt Tuck, his struggling season continues with a 35th place here today. Mathis Wells started well, involved in an early crash. And then all the way down, some guys that were flipping. Levi Shones last in the 96 because of his accident. 42nd for that number 96. Now we take a look at the points. This is 10 races in. Getting closer to the midway point of the regular season. Jerry Chen still holds the points lead, but it's not by as much as it could have been. If he won this one, he would have had a big points lead, but now it's only up by 14 over Brian Rodriguez. Laura Chung's only 17 back. Stapleton's only 19 back. Jack Haas only 20 back. So top 5 in points still very close together. Bryce Egan moves up, even though he didn't have the best of days. Max Davis drops outside the top 5. Still doesn't have that win. Raspberry up to 8th. Gabe Willard down to 9th, and Eli Bright, final spot inside the top 10, has that by 8 points over Philip Torres. So that win bumps up Eli. He's now in the top 10 in the chase as they run. The 2 wildcard spots, Levi Shones is not on this page, but he's 21st in points, still inside the top 25 with that victory. So he gets the first wildcard spot. The other one would go to Philip Torres, 11th in points. Anthony Hernandez has moved up nicely. His top 10 finish here today moves up to 27th in points. He is 15 back of the top 25. If he gets up into that, his win at Road America gets him a wildcard spot as well, but he has to get up there before he can use that. Good point stays as well for drivers like Keegan Thompson, Ludovic Charette, Justin Seidel, Jacob Miller, and Jude Martinelli that all really gained some spots and moved up nicely in the points. Now we look at team points. Otter Island Motorsports continues to pull away. They have over 100 points over their nearest competition, which is Tucson Racing, but the battle for second is absolutely extreme. Tucson Racing holds second. It's a tie for third, only 2 points back between Vision Motorsports and Southern Cross Racing. Then EKH Enterprises is only 8 points back of second and fifth. Galway Automotive is only 12 points back of second and sixth. And then a tie for seventh between Focus Autosport and Mead Motorsports. And then a big gap back to Red Lightning, Crispy Fire Racing Ventures, all these teams that are battling for 9th, 10th, and the rest in team points. So Trey, final thoughts. It was a crazy race to start here at Boston. A lot of cautions, some pit strategy. We got a long green flag run, became a little bit mundane, but in the end we had some strategy games with Eli Bright, your driver, your team, having the field to make it home to the checkered flag in first.
Yeah. The crazy day. I mean, this race in general was crazy. We went from 5 laps in, a car flipping 15 times to another 10 laps later, a car flipping another, 10 times, and then a long green flag run to the fuel coming into play here, Joe. And we had pit road incident. We had
Yep.
what else am I missing here?
I
What am I missing?
There's a lot that happened in this one. It was chaotic. It was crazy. We finally got a long green flag run, and then we got some strategy chaos to go along with it. So we had racing chaos, we had strategy chaos. We covered every base here today at the Boston International Speedway. Well, continue with this New England swing. This was the start of it. We have 2 more to come up as next time out on JRTV next Monday, going racing at New Hampshire for the Sylvania 300. So another track a mile long. This one though considered a short track. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. And then 2 weeks time, also on Monday, racing another fictional track in Vermont. That'll be a fun one there. That's a 1.5-mile speedway. So we'll have to see how it all plays out the next 2 weeks on JRTV. Then after that, we go to the All-Star race to try and lock someone into a chase spot. So it'll be a fun few weeks here on JRTV. But today, we'll congratulate Trey Bardo and Eli Bright, Me Motorsports, on the victory here at Boston. Their first victory in the DeWalt Cup Series. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rakowski. So long, but tune in next week to JRTV on Monday for New Hampshire.